What is up? I'm Johnny Rocket. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the humble beginnings of my YouTube channel on my Galaxy 24 Ultra. This incredible technology has given me the opportunity to really start my YouTube channel in full with just to be able to film things with clarity. But it's also given me this, which I feel is a very useful tool when it comes to explaining the visual aspects of mixing, which is really all I feel I can add to the music world with my YouTube channel is, and here, I'll explain it to you. I have, like, really when I'm mixing or writing music in general, I have so many different visuals that I rely on in my head in order to make sense of the audio, what I'm hearing, what I'm supposed to be hearing, I guess, as a result. And all of this is really based off of fundamental aspects of these visuals that I see in my head. So I really, when I'm talking with other musicians and when I'm jamming or when we're mixing and a bunch of really crazy conceptual schemery is afoot, we start really talking about into the nitty-gritty of what we're dealing with when it comes to music. It's very nebulous. We can all agree on this. It's really hard to latch on to an idea, especially inexperienced in the process, and have any confidence on what you're going to do with it, So I hope to really, by the end of this video, give you a visual basis on, like, literally a firm visual for what I see when I'm mixing at the ground level. This visual will be able to help you determine the utility of all the plugins in your arsenal when mixing, and help you be able to understand how to adjust those tools to be able to give you the maximum possible quality production, which really a lot of it's just like tools in service of the audio signal itself. So it's you kind of just gotta get out of the way of good music. But here, this is what I get when I first started on YouTube, man. This is why I really want to start a YouTube channel. When I first started on YouTube and I'm an experienced musician. I used to tour with the band Woe of Tyrants, and we had two particularly intense studio sessions recording our two major label albums. The first one with Joey Sturgis and the second one with Jamie King. And both of them together collectively opened my eyes to a new dimension in the music world that I'd never even considered. How could you if you didn't know really how it worked? And they really helped me build these visuals and stuff. So I really want to pass this along, because when I come in to just maybe, I'm just another guy. I'm still learning too. I'm not a fucking expert at any of this, but I know what I know, and I know what works in service of the music that I'm creating. And really, when you step on YouTube, you have a tree here. Here, let me try to draw a tree. All right. There's the trunk. There's the leaves. There you go. There's my artistic ability. When you are trying to learn anything as deep as what we're trying to dive into with music and audio engineering, you want to start here. You want to start at the roots. You want to work your way up. You want to build the leaves over time. And I'm talking this conceptually as far as like any subject. You want to fundamentally have something to be able to hang the leaves and the branches and everything on in order to fully grasp it. When we step in and understand, there's so many topics that we can dive into with mixing and music. I'm going to teach bass mainly to begin with on this channel. You can spend your whole life on this stuff. So when you get on YouTube, which by design, like, you're gonna get all the leaves. You're gonna dive into so many leaves you wouldn't know what to do with. You're just a little kid in your backyard with a bunch of crumbly leaves, and you're expecting to be able to move forward and be able to carry these leaves with you in the future to wherever you go. It's not possible. So I hope that with my channel I can start you off at the root level. That's all my that's my main concern here. That's my main dream when passing along this knowledge. So this first visual is in regards to music in general, but in audio engineering, it's your main bread and butter. It's something called the stereo sound field or 3D sound field. You can imagine, I'm just going to do a little to save time and energy. Just pretend this is the edge, or the, not the edge, the cap of the speaker, of your two speakers, when you're mixing your two monitors. So essentially what we're trying to do here is build a room with it, and it's just it's very vague and subjective, but there's a lot that you can really grasp tangibly from this as well. So there are no rules to this to begin with, but this will at least give you a better grasp of everything when it comes to music. Every individual instrument's placement, where it should be, where it could be, the control you have with it, the movement that that you have, the degrees of freedom you have here is insane when you start applying these plugins with respect to this 3D sound field. So I'm going to continue here and try to keep this as short as possible, but you're trying to build this room here, and you have 3 dimensions, of course, in order to be able to achieve that. You have your left and right dimension, which can very easily just be summed up as panning. You can pan left or right with what I'm used to with metal and hardcore. It's literally stereo pan guitars out wide. You know, you'll have the bass guitar, the kick, the snare. You'll have all these like dead center, the main vocals in the center. But you have a lot of room in between all of this to play with, and you know, you'll have it's very easily, you can very easily create space with panning, is what I'm saying. Like there's semi rules on where to pan stuff, but literally I'm telling you there's no rules. So you have panning as your left to right dimension. You have, let me clear this middle out because I need it. You have top to bottom in this, which is even more vague. But it's frequency. That's your main axis, frequency. So frequency is top to bottom, and I could make a video on this and it'd be a lot longer just diving into detail here, but the long and short of it is that you can look at this as a spectrum of, with your frequency balance from low to high end. The low, the sub content, subjectively and objectively, the sub content travels through the floor. You don't really hear it so much as feel it. So then you work your way up to the low mids, and that's the stuff that tends to wrap around, stuff that tends to muddy. You got your high mids, that's your up front region. That's where your face is. That's literally where your ears are. That's where you're going to hear the best. So that's where the vocals are. That's where all the clarity is. And then you got your high end above it, which is the shimmer, the air, the brightness dimension that's high up there, where cymbals would be, where you know, all of that. You can sort of like get the thought processes going yourself as to every little witch or every little nook and cranny of that, because like I said, I can make a whole video on that. It's very fascinating. But there's your top and bottom dimension, frequency. Oops. And then you have your front to back, which is a little bit harder to... There you go. Imagine this is 3D. That's 3D. there's your back wall. This front to back movement, the main axis to be able to control your front to back movement is volume. A lot of this seems self-explanatory, but this visual is literally was the key to opening my mind in order to understand and be able to hear music better. Because I implore you to take this visual with you when you listen to music and try to close your eyes and visualize a room and then put the instruments in it. This was a thought process that you're going to have to extrapolate backwards from when you're mixing and learning different tricks from people. It's kind of like when you're learning a bass riff and you learn it by ear. Now, as a mixer, you're going to want to listen to stuff and be able to try to recreate that the best way you possibly can. And this is how you do it, man. This is the ground level. So, volume is the very simple axis, but you also have all kinds of effects. All of these effects are literally what create the size, the scope, the density, the reflection. You can get as nerdy with it as you want, dude. Nerds are here in spades for this, and I'm one of them. I'm here to talk with you if you want to nerd out about this, because this stuff is incredible. But you have reverbs that dictate the size and the space of the walls, the material of the walls, if you want to get nerdy with it. And then you have delays that actually operate kind of as depth perception. You can have delays that take a center source and then bounce it out ping pong left and right. That way you get a musical bounce to any track, anything that can actually fit within this 3D sound field. It's actually bouncing off the walls now. You have tremolo plugins that literally they control the volume in a very back and forth way. So that's dictating, it's moving something from the front to the back of the room. That's all it's doing, if you want to look at it with this in mind. I can go on this forever, dude, because this is literally the visual by where you can make sense of any of these effects. So I really hope this helped you, because it's helped me, and it took me so long to find this type of information on YouTube in a dense enough way that I was able to understand it as the root, not as just another leaf. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. And like and subscribe if you gained something from this, because I'm going to continue on down the road making videos about really what I know. It's open-ended where it's going to go, but right now it's going to be bass guitar. But this is like fundamentally, I had to start here because, when I pick up the bass, I know where I am in this stereo sound field. I know where my effects will fly out when I use them, and I know that I won't get in the way. You know what I mean? Like, it's very crucial information for me that I can actually pull back down to the ground as a musician, just picking up an instrument and be able to utilize, because that's how this works. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good day. Like and subscribe.